How long have I been streaming? Apparently I've been streaming for 2 hours already here. Look at that bridge over there. So what happens if I get wealth in Asgard? I take it home to Ravensthorpe? Alright. This way we go. Susie! Quite the stairs here. Oh, that'd be quite the workout there, wouldn't it? I go this way? What the heck is this thing? I don't know what that symbol means. That's new. Probably something to... just this area here or something. Hell is also portrayed as being either half flesh and half skeletal, or half black and half white, depending on the storyteller. Interesting. Why not both? Half black flesh, half white skeleton. Or something. Skeletal. Avaldi's Forge. Visit Avaldi's Forge. Avaldi's Forge. Well, here I am.
Harvey,
Quite the place here.
Tell this rump cloud he can't.
I was only curious, dwarf. I meant no offense. I'm merely a seeker of knowledge.
The dwarves give nothing away for free.
Apologies for the distraction, Master Blacksmith. I'll leave you to your work.
Well, what shall I craft for you today, High One? Bottomless breeches for soiling yourself on the battlefield?
What did the builder want?
What were you and the builder discussing?
Harvey, my gentle jailer. You know we dwarves give nothing away for free. If you want your question answered, I'll need something in return.
Such as?
A hidden fact known only to you, Farseer. That I may share in your secret knowledge of the world.
Great horses draw the sun and moon, and eagle's wings stirs the wind. Humans will survive Ragnarok.
The humans will survive Ragnarök in force, taking shelter in Hutimir's forest, eating morning dew until their race is renewed.
The humans are a hearty people indeed. Much stronger than we give them credit for. So, you asked what that sack of sheep guts was after? He wanted to know how magic affected your Hugr.
Why would he want to know the effect of magic on my spirit?
Not just you, Harvey. The lot of you. Aesir and Vanir alike. I told him to shovel his shit somewhere else. Now if that's all you came to know, you can piss off and let me work.
I have one more need. Can you forge me an unbreakable chain?
I mean, it should be pretty obvious that's not all I came to know, considering me coming here is how I found out that he was talking to you, but whatever.
That Thor himself could not break.
It must be strong enough to bind a powerful beast.
I will sluice my sweat into this cord, Harvey. All knowledge I have and skill I own will define it. And what will I get in return?
Your freedom.
Make good on your claim, and your contract is fulfilled.
I smell bait. What's the trap?
No trap, no trickery. Forge me this cord, and you shall be free of my service.
To craft such a cord, I'll need a few impossible ingredients.
Name them.
Either list there. I have a bear's tendon, a fish's breath, and...
A cat's footsteps, and the root of a mountain. How do I find these?
How the fuck would I know? The riddles will guide you.
I have no patience for riddles, dwarf.
Those riddles are as ancient as the
Not
world, with lore passed
a
down
line that
from
I thought I would
Lidi and
see
Lidi to Northri and
in
Suthri,
such a story
Althri,
here.
Vestri, Althjover.
I understand. I will return shortly.
Whoa, weird camera there. Multiple requests accepted. Oh boy, padding. Oh boy.
Mjolvitnir, Beigen, Gandalfur, Bindalfur, Threin, Dekken, Thorin, Thror, Bit, and Lit, Nar, Nyrath, Regin, and Ransvidr.
Thing about the eagle's wings being the winds is actually a nod to Hresvelg, a giant eagle that sits on top of Yggdrasil and creates winds by flapping its wings. Oh. Well. Show nearby quest. Collect a cat's footfall. Sure. These riddles are in your inventory quest items. Eh? Collectibles, trade goods, quest items. Cat's footnote. Oh boy, man. Over the gate to the Great Norse Hall. Hold on. Control print screen. Where's paint? There you go, paint. Putting it on this monitor. There we go. And I can look at my map while I read this. Instead of going back and forth, like, just using the game alone you would have to do, which would be super annoying. Over the gate to the Great Norse Hall. I don't know, this or something here. A golden cat sits patiently. Gazing upon many tall towers, she'll flee when she is found. But follow without fear. Look, leap, and descend. Once she leads you to the end, she may ghost to the ground. Land as well and swiftly steal her sound. So, follow a cat that's, like, over here somewhere? Follow a golden cat. Restvelag is also mortal enemies with Nidhogg, who's a dragon that sits gnawing on Yggdrasil's roots. A squirrel named Ratatosk runs up and down Yggdrasil, relaying the insults between the two. The more you know. Is there a cat around here somewhere? What is this? I'm Dal Report. Javi. The attacks grow more fierce, and I must venture from my tower. What I hear with my hidden ear worries me, and now I must see it with my eyes. I beg you, once again, to assign me a serious apprentice. Loki clearly resents his role as gatekeeper and bristles at the latest of requests. He will need some supervision in my absence. Not that he can do much harm without my key, but the wards have been weakened, and he would be next to useless against a fully Jotnar assault. Best that he be reassigned, or expelled from Asgard altogether, despite whatever fool's bargain we've struck. I swear he will be the death of me. H. Feline footfall, huh? And some other news. 3D printing. This is a rainbow glow-in-the-dark filament that I'm printing one of those big dragons that stands up out of for Finn to take home. After this print has already failed twice. Which I'm not entirely impressed about. So these ones are articulated, but, like, they glow in the dark pretty decently well. But this is the most expensive spool of filament I've ever bought by being glow-in-the-dark rainbow filament going across multiple different colors here. So I'm not exactly impressed with this failing twice. This one got decently far-ish before failing. There's a lot of the head. So to salvage it this morning, I reprinted the top of the head. Like, just that specific part. I could glue it on. Then we have a completed head. But then, like, the spine is all messed up and covered in these battle scars. Little loose bits of filament everywhere. But maybe I'll put this one on a shelf somewhere around here. Semi-salvage this one. I guess I could technically do the same with, like, the missing half of the head on this one. Because, I mean, the body's articulated and stuff. Glows in the dark well. Yeah, a few failed prints. Might be on me for using my build plates too shortly after I'd washed them. I mean, I'd given it most of the day, but maybe there's still trace amounts of moisture on there, and then it didn't adhere properly. Because the pieces came loose. Started getting filament spaghetti everywhere, and then failed prints. So, hopefully this one works A-okay. If this one finishes, it'll be like or something. I have this one printing a little bit slower, so there also isn't as much speed going across that could potentially help pieces peel off. I have it running at 80% speed, so it's going a little smidge slower this time. ETA is 3:40 in the morning, is when it's supposed to be finished. It's on layer 82 out of 284. It's at 74% done. Saying 83 out of 284 makes it sound like it's, you know, like a quarter of the way done, rather than 74%. But the thing is, you know, there's less and less to do with each of the subsequent layers and all that. But coming together pretty alrighty. Like these other ones. I just need it to not fail. I need these pieces to not randomly start peeling off in the middle of the night and find another bit of plastic filament spaghetti over here, like I have a couple times already, by the morning. And then it's done. And then across this and my two failed ones, I will have already burned through like the half, maybe more than half, of this $35 roll of plastic. So definitely the most expensive of my dragons I will have made so far. So yeah, anyway, that's what I'm printing in the background. This is an update to other stuff there. Or just taking elements from different stories liberally until it creates their cool Nordic fantasy. Yeah, maybe there. Storyline's basically the Norse mythology speedrun from what I'm seeing. Combining a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know about you, but I think that was the coolest gender reveal I've ever seen.
Godspeed, Spider-Man. My back.
Thanks, sound effects. Really appreciate it. Is my sword, like, extra glowy this time? So, hold on. Over the gates to the Great Norse Hall. So not this. Heimdall's Tower. Golden cat sits patiently gazing upon many tall towers. So, these gates up here or something, maybe? Look for a golden cat? That's not a golden cat. My favorite part of Norse mythology is when Odin kicks a random civilian for no reason. That's right. That's my favorite part too. Sees them dancing and then decides no dancing. And then kicks them. And then they explode into pink. It's a girl! Where the heck, man? I might just look this up. I don't want to be dicking around here all night. After all. Oh, wait. I can locate area like this. It is this gate. Wait, what? Yeah, so I figured it out getting close. I forgot that I can do that. It can show me generally where I need to go. It says over the gate. Oh, I should have... Yeah. I should have figured go up. Man. Well. And some other news. Thinking about upcoming events here, I was working on some thumbnail projects for HalloLand just so I have those at the ready. And so I figured out I was told what the font was for HalloLand 2025, so I could use the same font in Assassin's Creed Valhalla Siege of Paris here.
One of Freya's statues.
Oh.
Who put you up here, little cat?
Oh, we're just gonna teleport around. It's gonna be one of these kinds of things, huh?
So that's how it is. Lead the way, Nimble One.
This way we go. So, the only LAN events left this year that I was planning on going to initially was going to be HalloLand at the end of October, and then Extra Life, of course, at the beginning of November. So they'll be pretty close together. But I have been thinking about potentially going to one at the end of November. I already basically go to all the LAN events in Edmonton and area. Unless you count GameCon as it's not really a LAN event, but a place that's a gaming event where streamers go and stream that I could go stream at, but that one I don't go to because no one freaking replies to me from that event. But as is the actual LAN events, I already go to all the ones in Edmonton area. Fragapalooza, Extra Life, and 3 mega FPS ones. Okay, down this way.
Nowhere to go but down.
But there's a series of LAN events that go on in Calgary. There, cat's footfall. Pet. There's a set of LAN events that go on in Calgary that I've heard of. And I've met some of the people involved with at Fragapalooza since they come to Fragapalooza. I forgot to turn that off. And I wasn't really entertaining the thought at first of going down to Calgary, driving that far for a LAN event. But it sounds like my cousin might be interested in going with his kids to that LAN event and checking it out. And there's also Smash singles and doubles tournaments going on there, which I wouldn't have to worry about feeling like I shouldn't play in because I'm running the event, because I wouldn't be at that event. I don't know if the crowd playing it would be like the Fragapalooza crowd, or if it'd be more of an esports, more competitive kind of crowd, or what it would be. But I was thinking about reaching out to my cousin and asking, like, hey, do you think that you're going to that event at the end of November? Because if you're going, I might just go. And then maybe I'll finally get around to use my spare parts machine, so I'm not taking my full rig across some good chunk of the province, or something like that. So I was looking into this and thinking about going to it. They're called LANified, these events. So I was thinking about seeing about that one there. I was gonna ask my cousin at Taekwondo today, but he wasn't at Taekwondo today, so didn't get the chance to ask him. Maybe I'll shoot him a DM or ask him the next time I see him in person or something like that. Just like, hey, are you going to that? Because if so, maybe I'll go, and then maybe me and my little cousin will play together in the frag doubles tournament, the Lanify doubles tournament, or something like that. So maybe across end of October to end of November, maybe I do 3 LAN events potentially, just up the amount of LAN events I do in a year. But that's a trek. That's not just like in city/area. That is a ways to be going. But I have been humoring the idea a little bit. And if I did do that, then there's a good chance that the final DLC of this game, Dawn of Ragnarok, maybe I would just do at that LAN event. And then I have all the main DLCs done at LAN events, rather than doing Dawn of Ragnarok on my own time here, like would have been my initial plan. Potential at its peak. Let's just go ahead and control print screen that. Go over to paint here and paste it in. So yeah, it's an idea I'm humoring right now. I'd say right now it's still more likely than not I'm not going. I'm not trekking that far. But I am thinking about it a little bit. Potential at its peak. Cradled in rock at Asgard's highest height. A seed sleeps with the Ymir's cold grip. Warm it awake. Bring it to water. For old bone to sprout with new life. Asgard's highest height. So, like, right at the top there. A seed sleeps in Ymir's cold grip. What? I can't words. Warm it awake. Bring it to water. For old bone to sprout with new life. So, take something that's at the very top here and bring it to water. Man, I've got crazy sniffles here. When I got back from BC yesterday, I had crazy sniffles. I was sniffling and sneezing like crazy. How do I climb this? What? What? Do I not climb this? Is that not what I would do here? I can't freaking tell what's climbable in this game. Is this climbable? That sure is. So here's a fun fact for you. The reason that everything from famous weapons to a single chair has a name in Norse mythology is because the Old Norse believed that giving something a name made it stronger. Can definitely appreciate a good name. Anyone that's seen the Fire Emblem Fates playthrough knows that. Can I not? Is it not up here then? Cradled in rock at Asgard's highest height. Can I not get up there? It's cradled in rock. It's Asgard's highest height, so like here. Cradled in rock at Asgard's highest height. I don't know, man. Especially if I can't climb this. I have no idea. There's something very rock-like around here. Focus.
He has made the base already.
What?
The builder works fast.
What are you talking about?
A bit too fast.
Is that the base? I was hoping that it would show me where I needed to go for this. There's a texture glitching out because it's Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I give up. I'm going to YouTube. Whoops. Come on. Let's see here. Let's have a little bit of a look-see. What was this quest called again? Taking root. Come on, YouTube here. True, but usually Norse mythology objects, mythology objects have pretty reasonable names, whereas in Fire Emblem Fates we have weapons like Hogtua and the Throngler. Well, pretty powerful names, I mean. Also, before starting the stream, I tinkered with my OBS settings again to switch it back to NVENC GPU encoding, and I haven't had any lag tonight, and I'm not using all that much GPU, I noticed on the task manager there. Let's see here. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Taking root. Hey, it's the same channel that I went to for, like, the order members. Let's click and support your videos some more. Because you get right to the point. I like your stuff. It's great. Okay. It isn't in Asgard. I thought it was going to be here because this was labeled as, like, Asgard. As in, like, this here. This place. Look, it is. But it meant Asgard in the broad sense, because apparently it's here. Alright. Oh yeah, I guess I could have used my Raven to see what when I'm close here and stuff, and I never had the prompt come up for that. So, yeah, still counts as Asgard. So, like,
Go, my eyes.
it's here somewhere. Is it this or something? This YouTube tutorial has the harmonious seal of approval. It sure
I
does.
swear, dwarves would choose riddling over rutting.
Are they important there? Hold on, what did the rest of the thing say? Where do I have paint? Dang it, I just opened CMD. I don't need the command prompts right now. A seed sleeps in Ymir's cold grip. Yeah, so nothing about them. Oh, it's right here. How did I not see it before?
And the mountain's rocky grip.
Close paint now.
Some heat may free it from its shell.
Some heat may free it from its shell?
The seed will not sprout root until I get it into some water.
Wow, it sure looks like it got rid of the shell, huh? Can I just, like, jump with it? Oh, there's water right down there. I can just do that.
I must retrieve the root for Ivaldi before it takes hold.
Thinking about trees and seeds, I haven't talked about my seed-grown apple trees in a long time because there hasn't been anything to talk about
Let's see what you can make of
them
these,
with for a
Ivaldi.
long time. So, what was it? Like, winter, not last year, but the year before that, or sometime late that fall, I planted a bunch of apple tree seeds to grow. And they grew well, they germinated. I have 4 of one kind, which is a Prairie Sensation apple, which is what I got the seeds from. Most likely crossed with a Prairie Magic apple, which both of them were bred, I think in Saskatchewan, to be good tasting apples that are cold hardy enough to exist on the Canadian prairies. So both of them combined together, probably pretty darn tasty. And then the other one that I'm growing, that I have 3 of, are Red Wonder apples, is what they came from. But I don't know what's in proximity of the tree where it came from. I've never actually seen the tree where it came from. So I don't know what the other pollination partner came from. It could be some really crappy crab apple or something like that. Rather than like a good fresh eating apple. But hopefully it's something good there. So I have 3 of those and then 4 of the Prairie Sensation crossed with Prairie Magic ones. I was growing them for a while, and as these tiny little saplings and doing some research online, I was reading on some sites that was saying that I shouldn't have them outside for the first real winter, because, like, they won't be able to deal with it yet. Yeah, I should have been reading sites that more pertain to the Alberta climate, where these trees that come from seeds from trees around here really, really expect and rely on a winter dormancy period. So, my trees started losing all their leaves late last year, after I was already keeping them inside for the winter. It was already deep winter, where they were losing all their leaves. They were turning yellow like it was fall time, and they were losing their leaves despite temperatures not going down, because they were just running out of energy. They were just running out of juice in the tank, and they just couldn't keep it up anymore. They needed a dormancy period, and I couldn't put them right outside, because one, like middle of winter, it's going to be like super cold, super crazy there, and be too much of a cold shock. And 2, like, I would be concerned about cold seeping in and getting the roots in the pots there, which I guess I can put them in an unheated garage, which maybe I'll do in future years if I need to. So, we have a fridge upstairs that's the main one, and a fridge downstairs here that at one point was supposed to be just like my fridge to do what stuff I wanted with. Didn't seem to be as much of the case when my parents were not all that happy when I took up the fridge with my apple trees for a long time. So, late last year, early this year, I think it was around like January-ish, February-ish, something like that. I put my apple trees in the fridge after finding out that they have about 1 year's worth of energy at max before they're like, yep, we're done for the year. We gotta go to sleep. We gotta go dormant. So I took them out of the fridge last week, since I figure, okay, well, it'll be a little bit more than a year before next year's winter. They can probably last until about then. And plus, I noticed that some of them were already starting to sprout. Their buds at the top were starting to open up, and little leaves were starting to come out. So clearly they were like, alright, we're awake. We want to grow. What the heck, it should be springtime alright. We've had enough sleep. So, I took them out of the fridge last week. They're actually growing pretty fast. I took them out, like, I think Thursday last week, the day before I left for BC. and now it's Monday the following day after. And there's all sorts of little apple leaves on the top. So I was concerned about my little trees because I thought they're losing all their leaves, they're dying, they're running out of juice. Can I save them? Will putting them in the fridge for an artificial winter be good enough? Is this okay? Is that what they need? Yes, it is. It looks like almost all of them are for sure a-okay. And the other ones that haven't grown yet, it looks like the buds are maybe swelling. Because they've only been out of the fridge like 4 or 5 days, is the thing. They haven't been out of the fridge very long, so still gotta give it some more time. There was 2 Nanking cherry trees that were in there too, and they're both growing. There was my apricot tree that was in there as well, that I was also concerned about after it lost all its leaves. Concerned to the point that when I was at a seed event and ran into the dudo that gave me those apricot seeds in the first place, that I've 3D printed some things for over the past couple of years, I asked him if I could have some more apricot seeds, and he was like, sure, here you go. And I got a couple more apricot seeds from him, just for like a backup. So I could grow them from seed again if I really need to. So they're just in the drawer here, and it took me a little bit long to find those. But nope, I see the buds swelling on my apricot tree and starting to turn light green. They're getting ready to leaf out, so my apricot tree is alive. So my fruit trees are alive and doing well after they were sitting in the fridge for the past however long. So there's an update on trees and stuff there. Another Norse mythology fact is that dwarves are often thought of as another type of elf. Elder Scrolls actually runs with this idea, having the dwarves or dwemer being one of the many elf or mare races. Okay, that's interesting. And there were times that I streamed with my apple trees and stuff here. I haven't done that in forever because they've been in the fridge for like the past forever here. And they've been losing their leaves for however long. So I haven't, maybe the last time would have been like either very early with this game, just talking about it seems like they're dying off, or late with Odyssey, showing like, hey, look at these little apple saplings. I haven't showed them in forever. I'm gonna grab an apple tree and bring it here. Look at my little dude here. Wow. That'll hopefully make some delicious apples one day. I'll probably give away a bunch of my apple trees next year. A bunch of people can get them in the ground where they can establish themselves. Look at this. This guy's been out of the fridge for like 4 days. This is the one that's growing the fastest. I wanted to grab the one that's growing the fastest here. I have like some shells from Galveston Island and some rocks from Jasper for like some decor in here. This one last year when it was growing made a little shoot this way, so its terminal bud at the end here is starting to grow as well. There's all these leaves that I haven't seen in months, but it's, you know, those are the leaves I recognize from this apple tree that I've been growing from seed. So I'm really quite happy that my apple trees seem to be doing okay. The last time that I streamed with one of my apple trees on the side here was probably Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because they've been in the fridge for however long. Let's stream with an apple tree again to inspire it to grow big and strong. So yeah, the buds at the end are growing really well. All the buds along the stem are turning green. They're getting ready to leaf out all along here. Yeah, it's like 4 days out of the fridge. This is one of the guys that already was like starting to poke out at the top a decent bit. The leaves were pretty yellowy since they didn't need to photosynthesize. There wasn't any light in there. But they were very slowly poking out. The moment I took it out of the fridge there and into warmth, it's like, oh, springtime to grow. And now it's just exploding at the top here. If this is what 4 days is, we'll see what these guys are like in like a month here. Just be covered in leaves and keep on growing. So they'll be inside through this winter. And this will be the last winter that they'll be inside. And then they can be outside for future winters. Or if they have to stay in pots, then in like an unheated garage or something like that, so the cold doesn't destroy their roots. But yeah, so yeah. No botany expert. Apple trees are pretty fucking big. What happens when the apple tree outgrows the pot? Ideally, they're all planted next year. And they can grow in. Like, just wherever they get planted there will be the case. Ideally, they find their forever homes. I'll probably be giving away a whole bunch of them next year. I know I have some neighbors around here that might potentially be interested, so maybe these guys won't be that far from home here. Maybe. Elder Scrolls also has orcs, or Orsimer, as a corrupted form of elf, which is true to the original orc lore written by Tolkien, where they were elves turned into monsters by evil forces of their own
I
thing.
found everything you asked for.
A whole 2 things.
How soon can you finish this unbreakable cord?
I am probably going to need to transplant these trees into a pot size bigger than this before they go on the ground.
Find me as soon as it's ready.
Sometime this
By the
winter, I'll
way,
probably have to give a bigger pot.
After we spoke of the Hogger, a cousin came by with his own
One of my
stick.
trees I already had to do that
I
with.
don't trust
So one of my
coincidence,
apple
so
trees
this one's
is already in a
What
pot
did he
a
say?
size bigger than
He told
this
me his
by a decent
sister's
smidge.
husband Borin drank
'Cause that one
mead
was growing
brewed in
super fast.
Jotunheim, and it sent his
That one's
Hogger
probably my
into a
second
goat.
fastest
The
growing
spirit
one
of
now
a
that it's
dwarf
in
in the
spring,
body of a
quote
goat?
unquote. After this guy.
Stranger still, his sister didn't even notice.
Heavy!
Don't drag me into this.
The tower is nearly finished.
Do not fret. The final hours are ticking down.
Not fast enough. I feel the jaws of a trap closing upon me.
Knowing you are in a trap is the first step to avoiding it.
You don't care if I'm married off to this builder, do you?
I value my
You are
queen.
the queen of Asgard, the host of Folkvanga, the shepherd of the slain. Of course I care.
Yet you act as if I'm some treasure to be traded about.
I was wrong to use you like that. I will confront the builder and pry the truth out of him.
A limp apology, but it will suffice for now. Once the builder is dealt with, turn your spear on Loki. Every chance he had, he dug us deeper into this mess.
If Loki is up to something, I will see to it that he is punished. Blood Oath be damned.
Quest completed. Forging a bond. Yeah, is there something going on with Loki there? The big finish. Oh, am I going to wrap up the Asgard quest line here? If it's the big finish? Or maybe it's just the big finish of the tower there. Examine the builder's tower. That's the one that was like behind there? Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just walk around this way. I don't know if I can jump off the other tower there with a viewpoint from that height without dying from fall damage. If I'm not jumping the way that I normally jump, but at that point, across the loading screen and going around, I may as well just run from this point anyway. I'm on a big Elder Scrolls kick because I've been playing Skyrim, so I want to info dump about lore any chance I can get. Really in that mood there. I get you. And now I'm in the mood of info dumping about the stuff that I'm growing here. Hence, apple trees. Yeah, this might be the first time that I've streamed with one of my apple trees since Odyssey. I'm sure this exact same tree has been on my stream before, but like last year, most likely. Has been the case. They haven't exactly been around for a while, and I haven't talked about them for a while since they were in the fridge, hopefully asleep. Me crossed my fingers that they weren't dead. Yeah, they weren't dead. They're fine. I'm very glad about that. But yeah, because they're new combinations, they're new varieties there. Things like apple trees are usually grown from like cuttings or the like. Or grafting parts of the tree that you actually want the fruit of onto rootstocks that are really good. And then you keep like the exact variety that you want. So, you know, a greenhouse makes a whole bunch of this variety over and over and sells that specific variety. Yeah, you missed that part here? My trees lost all their leaves. I was concerned that they were dying there. I was told that they shouldn't be outside for their first winter because they wouldn't be able to handle it. But the websites I was reading from came from warmer climates and not colder climates like this, where trees that are going to be hardy enough to handle this winter kind of need to be, you know, going dormant. It's an important part of their cycle there. So they ran out of juice in the tank. Their leaves turned yellow. They lost all their leaves. I was concerned, oh no, my trees are basically dead. It was January. I couldn't put them right outside anymore. It was the middle of winter there. So I put them in the fridge. And they've been in there until like Thursday last week, where they were experiencing winter was the case. So they had their winter. Now they think it's spring. They're like, oh, it's time to grow. And they're fine. So that's why this is pretty barren, is because while this was covered in leaves at one point from all its first year growth, it lost that all because it needed a period of dormancy. So now that's had a period of dormancy, it's waking up, it's growing. Very soon, this is going to be very covered in leaves. All the buds along the stem are opening up. I mean, it's only been 4 days, so it hasn't had much time yet. Which is why I'm surprised there's already all these leaves at the top here. So I had 7 apple trees, 1 apricot tree, 3 cherry trees, and 1 haskap plant in the fridge. One of the cherry trees and the Haskap I don't think are going to make it. Those might be toast. But across my 4 prairie hybrids, my 3 red apple hybrids, for a total of 7 apples, my Manchurian apricot, and my 2 Nanking cherries, they seem to have quite liked their time in the fridge. They're very easygoing artificial winter there, and are now very excited for the chance to grow again now that they've had a good sleep.